Thank you for joining me for practice today. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And in the description is a link to the Patreon account. We appreciate any donation you can offer. Thank you. Let's get started this morning opening up the hips early. So we'll start in cross-legged pose, Sukhasana, or if you have the flexibility, you can come into half lotus, which is to take the outside of one foot into the crease of the opposite hip and thigh. And when you do that, you want to grab from the outer edge of the foot and tuck it up into the crease. Then sit tall and close your eyes and just take a few moments here to find your spine. So anchor the sit bones down into the mat or bolster and lift through the crown of your head. And as you feel the spine lengthening, find the abdomen expanding and contracting with breath. Inhale, belly swells like a balloon. Exhale, really pulling the belly button back towards the spine so that you're using a little bit of that core strength, the Mula Uddiyana Bandha lift. And then again, releasing that on inhalation, making the belly soft so it fills with air. Exhalation, engaging again. Now, as you breathe in this way, if you want to add in a soft ujjayi sound, that ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath, that'll just give us a little bit of an auditory stimulus so we can hear that the breath is smooth and even. And if it's not smooth and it's not even, keep relaxing all tension in the body and find that the more you let go, the more the breath comes into an effortless, even pattern. Now we're going to grow that breath, so inhaling belly, then ribs, exhaling again, pull the navel in and up on exhalation. Rib cage will come closer together. It's a two-part breath for a few rounds here. And now expand that even further. So belly, then ribs, then chest on inhalation. And exhale again, navel pulling in and up. Rib cage drawing closer together, chest softening on exhalation. With that smooth, diaphragmatic breath, continue to relax so that we can make that inhale flow right into the exhale, flow right into the inhale. So we understand in yoga that how we shape the breath begins to shape the mind. And so we can find that these smooth diaphragmatic breaths really trigger the mind to come into a calm and relaxed state. I'm going to just take one more round here. And then if you can keep your eyes closed, and you were in half lotus, we're just going to switch the legs out. So we have balance on each side. And then relax all effort in the breath. Just let the breath become comfortable, effortless, and find its own pattern. One that you're no longer imposing, but one that arises from within. So we're going to be working today in the area of the hips, releasing some of that, deep tension that likes to sit there in the base of the body. And sometimes if we have a lifestyle that's a little more sedentary, the hips get really tight because we're not moving them around. And so in our practice, we want to put forth the effort to get into a position to help open the hip. But once you're in that position, the key is to really relax and to let go. And so through conscious action, finding that ability to surrender. And it's always a delicate play between these two of how much effort and how much letting go. And we want to think of them as being balanced. Finding that sweet spot right in the middle. Good. Now, bring your hands together in front of your heart and let your thumbs touch your sternum and bow your head to your hands. We'll set that as the intention for our practice today. And if there's anything in your life right now that's asking you to work on these qualities of surrender and letting go, bring that into your intention now. It's important to remember that surrender and letting go is not inaction. It's not just sitting by and letting things happen. It's conscious action, but surrendering the fruits of our labor. So as we put those intentions in the heart, we'll surround them with unconditional love. And then we're going to begin the practice with the chant of Om 3 times, using the 3 sounds, Ah, O, and on our breath. And feeling that the Ah vibrates the lower portion of the spine, the O vibrates the middle, and the vibrates the upper. So deep inhale in. And then take a long exhale out. And again, pull that navel in and up and really contract the abdomen to help push the breath out, stabilizing the spine. And then another deep inhale in. Good. Gently lower your chin to your chest. Bring your hands to your knees for just a moment. And take your time to gradually open your eyes, coming back into the room. And we're going to move right into tabletop position to start. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet press firmly into the floor. On the inhalation, send the heart forward, sit bones are going to lift. On the exhalation, again, beginning with the pelvic floor and lower belly pulling in and up, round the back, take the sit bones to the heels for child's pose. Good. Come back forward into tabletop. Inhaling, heart lift, sit bones lift. And exhale, lifting from the pelvic floor, naveling it up, round the back, and take the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Good. Now we're going to bring in a breathing technique. So inhaling, chest, ribs, belly on inhalation. And now exhale, belly, ribs, chest. And take your time to do that slower than the inhalation. So a good count is 5 counts on inhalation as you come forward. And then 7 counts as you go back on exhalation. Again, pulling that pelvic floor, navel in and up, really taking the time to engage the musculature correctly. Good. 3 more like that. 5, 7 breath. And of course you can accommodate, so if your breath's a little faster, you can count a little faster. Ujjayi breathing. Last one. Good. This time we're going to widen the knees. Toes touch behind you. Come into a wide child's pose, forehead to the mat. Come up onto your fingertips. Let your heart dip towards the earth. And then draw the tips of your shoulder blades down your back to stabilize your shoulders. You can release the hands back down so the palms are flat. And now reach your right arm just a little longer than your left. So really extend out through the fingertips. Feel that traction along the right side of the body. And then reach your left arm longer than your right. Ground the hand. Feel that traction. And then both fingers reach as long as they can. And now relax the elbows into the mat. Really soften everything down. Walking your hands to the right side, press your left sit bone down, bow your rib cage. Now once you come into this position, opening up that left lateral, bring your right hand into the floor, elbow at a right angle, and then rotate the navel just a little deeper to the right. So kind of picking your chest off your thigh, rotating deeper, and then relax back down into the mat. So you're sending the left shoulder a little closer towards the earth. Breathe here. It's just a very subtle twist there for the upper back. Keep staying heavy through your hips. Keep breathing. Good. Other side. Come back to center. Settle there for a moment. And now hands are going to walk to the left side. Let the right side body open up. And then left hand goes into the floor. Elbow at a right angle. Push down into the earth and soften the right shoulder just a little bit more than the left. Just a little bit of a dip there for that right side body, a little bit of a twist. And then release that, come back to center, soften again in the middle. Inhale back to tabletop position, and we're going to bring the elbows down into the mat. Wrap the hands around the middle part of the arms. Interlace your fingers and press your forearms down, or spread your palms wide with your forearms parallel. Tuck the back toes under, lift the sit bones up and back, and come into dolphin or forearm down dog. So here, it's our first down dog of the morning. Press one heel down and then the other, just pedaling the feet back and forth, opening up the backs of the legs, clearing away any stagnation that came from sleeping. And then find your feet hip distance apart, turn your toes and slightly heels out. Roll the inner thighs in and back, lift the sit bones high. Keep pressing through your forearms so your head and neck just hangs. Shoulders are strong and engaged.
Now concentrate on the breath. So inhaling, chest, ribs, belly, 5 counts, and then that longer exhale, lifting from the pelvic floor first, then belly, ribs, and chest. So since you have that 7 counts on exhalation, you've got a little more time to really pull everything in and up and find that contraction in the abdomen. Last breath here. Good, then lower your knees to the floor, sit bones to heels, child's pose. Take embryo, so the back of the hands round, grabbing onto either the heels or just letting the palms face up. And now press into the earth with the hands, roll the spine up 1 vertebra at a time, pulling the navel back, and sit tall on your heels for just a moment. We're going to move into Virasana. Virasana has the heels just to the outside edges of the hips. So if you cannot get the hips to touch the floor behind you, then you can place a block underneath them to bring the floor up to you. If the block's too high, you can use a blanket, anything that you need to feel secure here. Now, before you go into the posture, take your thumbs and split the calf in half, rolling the outside of the calf down. The inner thighs roll in. It's an internal rotation and not something that we're very familiar with. We tend to have a proclivity towards external rotation. And the tailbone absorbs in, the lower belly lifts. I'm just going to sit here for a few moments, just allowing the hips to open in this way. Good. So as you're breathing, you're going to interlace the fingers and take the palms up over the head. Staying in the posture, exhale, contract the abdomen, push into the back of the heart. Push the palms away. Do it again. Inhale, bring the arms up over the head. Feel that slight back bend there. Exhale, pull the abdomen towards the back body. Push the palms away. Good. Again, inhale. Remember, we've got that longer exhale. Really engage the abdomen. Inhale. Last one. Then inhale, lift the palms over the head. Exhale, slowly release the hands back down to the lap. You can just place the palms flat for a moment. And then we'll come out of the posture. Remove any prop that you had off to the side. Come back into tabletop position. Lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So we already did dolphin, which is similar to down dog. Here we want to do the alignment principles for this posture. So feet hip distance, toes turn in slightly, heels out. Roll the inner thighs in and back and allow the sit bones to spread. Keep thinking like someone's pulling your waist away from your crown of your head. So the spine elongates and then the upper body roll. Your shoulder heads away from your ears. Squeeze the inner elbows toward one another and press firmly through the web of the index and thumb. As you anchor into hands and feet, keep lifting the apex of your triangle here. That tailbone reaches up towards the heavens. And now concentration on each exhalation of pulling the pelvic floor and navel in and up. 2 more slow breaths here. Hollow out the belly. Remember, on the inhalation, the belly gets soft and you fill it with breath again. It's just on that exhalation that we're really engaging those 2 locks, Mula and Uddiyana Bandha. Good. On the last one here, come onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step forward to your fingertips. Open your feet, hip distance apart, little micro bend the knee. Hands onto the backs of the legs, slide them down 3 times. So hands are just going to give a little bit of a massage there, all the way to the heels, go back to the glutes, and do it again. Calming the nervous system, calming the breath. Good. Now hands onto the backs of the thighs. Elbows squeeze into your side body to open up the heart. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up, parallel to the floor. Squeeze the elbows back behind you, hands slide up the legs. Exhale, navel pulls in as you slide back down. Good. Do it again. Inhale, pulling back with those elbows. Chest stays open. Come to halfway, flat back. Exhale, navel, pelvic floor pulls in and up, finding that deep contraction in the abdomen. Again, inhale. Exhale. Notice that longer exhale, more time to pull everything in and up. Inhale. And as you lift that pelvic floor and navel, it creates the space for you to fold more deeply. It takes the flesh out of the way. Last two. Chin stays in, so we have a little bit of that Jalandhara Bandha as well. Last one. Now, this time we're just going to relax so everything can soften. Fingertips can line up with the toes. Head and neck is relaxed. Make sure that you bring your body weight forward in the balls of the feet because we have that tendency to sink in the heels. And now 5 full breaths here. Inhale, exhale, 5-7 breathing. Each exhalation, lift the pelvic floor, navel in and up. So when we do hips, we have to relax in the body, but we have a tendency to sink into our joints. We have a tendency to sink into flexibility. So we want to make sure that we keep this, what we call inner body lift, which begins with lifting the pelvic floor and navel when we're in those deep hip opening practices. Last one. Hands to hips again. Squeeze the elbows tight, press equally into both feet, and slowly rise up to standing. And then just take a moment if you want to roll shoulders up and back and just feel the prana settle before we begin our sun salutations. One more breath here. Back to the front of your mats, big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. We're going to do this variation of sun salutation. Inhale the arms, reach up. Exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Step the right leg back, lower the knee down, top of the foot. Inhale up into low lunge. And then exhale, step back to downward facing dog. From down dog, step the right foot forward to the fingertips, spin the back foot flat for warrior one. Inhale as you come up. And now exhale to plank position. First round, we'll modify vinyasa. Bring knees to floor. Lift the toes behind you. Squeeze your elbows tight till your belly comes down. Tops of the feet ground. Inhale, cobra. Low ribs stay on the floor. Exhale, navel up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward to the fingertips. Lower the left knee to the floor. Inhale up for low lunge. And exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach overhead, and exhale, hands to heart. Left side, inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Navel to spine, left leg goes back. Inhale, opening up the hip, but keeping that inner body lift. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward. Spin the back foot flat, hips are square, warrior one. Inhale as you reach. Exhale, plank position. We'll still do that modified version for the first round. Squeeze the elbows tight. Inhale, elbows and shoulders back. Exhale, down dog. Navel up and back. Taking 5 breaths here, please. Now use this 5 breaths to concentrate on lifting that pelvic floor and navel in and up. One more. 5-7 breathing, longer exhales. And at the bottom of the exhale, lunge the left foot forward to the fingertips, lower the right knee down. Inhale up for low lunge. And exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold, just melt. Inhale, arms out wide as you lift and rise all the way up to standing, arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back, lower knee, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. Exhale, go back to down dog. Step the right foot forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat for warrior one. Front knee bent, hips are squared. Inhale, reach. Exhale, plank position. This time if you want to leave knees lifted, chaturanga. Inhale, you roll over the toes then for up dog. Exhale, navel up and back, down dog. Right leg steps forward, left knee down. Keep that inner body lift as you move into the lunge. Exhale, step forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up to standing, arms extend, and exhale, hands to heart, left side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward for warrior one. Navel in and up as you reach. Exhale. Downward facing dog. We're going to stay here. Oops, I'm sorry. Plank position. Chaturanga your way. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to down dog. 5 breaths. Navel pulls in and up on exhalation. Keep rolling the shoulder heads away from the ears. Let the head and neck relax. More and more weight goes back into those legs. Last breath here. Now the left leg's going to come forward to the fingertips. Right knee comes down. Low lunge, arms reach. And exhale, step forward, just melt over the leg. Inhale, arms out wide as you lift and rise. Open up the heart, exhale. Hands at the heart center. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Right leg back, low lunge. Inhale. And exhale, down dog. Right leg through. Warrior one. Inhale. And exhale, plank position your way. Knees lowered or lifted, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. Right leg forward, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise. Exhale, heart. Left side. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward. Warrior one. Inhale. And exhale. Plank position. Your way, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog, 5 breaths. Try to return to that 5-7 breathing. Using this pause in down dog here to reestablish the breath. Last one. Now left leg forward, right knee down. Inhale up for low lunge. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Slight back bend. And exhale, hands to heart. And once again, we're just going to rest. Samastiti. So find your breath. Return to that 5-7 breathing. Engagement of the abdomen on exhalation. One more. Okay, so we're going to build some heat here in chair. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink into chair. Inhale, lift the heart a little higher. Exhale, contract your abdomen forward, fold over your bent legs. Inhale, lean back to chair again. We'll continue that. Exhale, contract the abdomen, forward, fold over bent legs. Inhale, lean back to chair. Using your breath. Exhale, feel the pelvic floor and navel pull in and up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Now, press into the feet, come up to standing. Exhale, arms by your side. And we're going to take the right foot to mid-thigh and go back into chair to stay. So hands at the heart, sink down into a modified chair. Flex your right foot. Feel like there's a weight attached to your right knee. Getting that external rotation for the hip. Keep sinking, allowing the sit bones to go back, but the heart to come forward. And again here too, you want to feel that inner body lift, the little bit of pelvic floor and navel pulling in and up so that there's buoyancy in the body. Keep flexing, pull that pinky toe side back. It helps to protect the knee joint. Steady your gaze. And then come all the way up to standing. Take a moment. Just feel. And then we'll do the other side. Weight into the right foot. Take the left foot to mid-thigh. Hands into prayer. Exhale, sink down into chair. Inhale, send the heart forward. Exhale, keep allowing those sit bones to move back. Flex your left foot this time. Again, pinky toe side of the foot really pulls back. Breathe here, steady your gaze. Keep taking the pelvic floor and navel in and up on exhalation. It relaxes on inhalation. Two more. And then slowly come up to standing. Just release. If you want to shake the feet out for a minute or roll the ankles, just to get some movement there of the prana. And then come back to the front of your mats. Big toes are touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Traditional sun salutation A. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, hands on the shin or floor. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position, chaturanga your way. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale to down dog. 5 breaths. Keep taking that navel in and up, and this stimulation of the abdomen helps to build some fire, some warmth, that we're going to use all that in the hips. One more here. Now, from down dog, take the right foot all the way through to the fingertips. Stay on the ball of the back foot, fingers in a finger stand. Take your hands on the inside of that right foot. If you can, palms are flat. Wiggle your back toes back a little bit and elongate the back leg. Now, it's this balance we were talking about, this ability to let go, to release into the posture. At the same time, there's that pelvic floor and navel pulling in and up so that the spine's not just sinking, body weight's not just sinking in the joints. Breathe here. Keep that back leg firm, just 2 more breaths. Keep lifting the thigh towards the ceiling. Now, if you need padding under your knee, you're going to flip your mat over and gently place your knee down or use a blanket. Turn your right toes out so they angle towards your mat. That way when you bend your knee and your toes should be in alignment. We're going to go deeper here into this hip. So if you have the flexibility, bring your forearms now to the floor. Head and neck is relaxed, or you can place a block under the head, and now breathe here. You can keep the back toes tucked if that helps provide a little more stability, or you can place the top of the foot flat. And really know yourself. Do you need more flexibility? Do you need more strength? The flexibility would keep the top of the toes down. Strength, or using that engagement, will keep the toes tucked. Head and neck is relaxed here. Keep letting go, pressing through those forearms. It's the same sensation we had in that dolphin. Good, one more breath here. And we're going to come off of the forearms. Plant your left hand down. Take your right hand to the knee and then roll to the outside edge of the right foot and push that knee open and just get a little deeper into the hip. Good. Breathing here. Send your breath into where those areas of sensation are. Mindful of keeping a little pelvic floor lift. One more breath. Good. Gently bring that foot flat. Heel toe it to the center. Tuck your back toes under. And step the back foot forward for standing forward fold. And now bring your hands onto the backs of the thighs like we did before. Slide them down towards the Achilles. And do that 2 more times. Navel pulling in and up on exhalation. And now you can keep your hands around the back of your calves if you'd like. Let your head and neck soften. You can even imagine there's a weight attached to the crown of the head. Gravity is going to take it. Body weight forward a little bit in the balls of the feet. 2 more breaths. Keep pulling the navel in and up on exhalation. Good. Arms out wide. Press equally into both feet. Come all the way up to standing. Reach overhead, slight back bend, and exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey pose. Hands either on the shins or floor, flat back. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position your way. Knees lowered or lifted, chaturanga. If the knees are down, it's cobra. If they're up, it's up dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Now this time we're going to step the left foot forward to the fingertips. High on the ball of the back foot. Stabilize that leg. Fingers in a finger stand. Take the left hand on the inside of the foot. Palms flat. Press the back heel firmly away. You want that back foot both up and out. So you're getting a nice stretch there for the metatarsals. And then really feel that stability, so that strength in combination with the opening of the hip. Breathing here. Gaze is steady. Mind is steady. Keep lifting the top of the thigh towards the ceiling. Now, we're going to gently bring that knee to the floor. So if you need to flip your mat over for some padding or grab a blanket, please do so. Turn your left toes so that they angle towards the upper left corner of your mat. And this way, when your knee's bent, it's in the same alignment as the toes. And then hands stay on the inside of that foot. You can either be on the hands, or if you've got the flexibility, come down to the forearms. Once the forearms are at the floor, head and neck is soft. Relax here. Feel that opening in the hip, inner groin. Breathe. You got to keep pressing into the forearms. Make space in the shoulders so you're not sinking in those joints either. And here, if you have the ability to, you can gaze at the knee or gaze at the navel and actually watch the navel go in and up on exhalation. Head and neck is soft. 2 more. Okay, hands are going to go back under the shoulders if you were on the forearms. Plant your right hand down. Left hand goes to the knee. You're going to open up that foot, like outside, rolling to the outside. The inside opens like a page of a book. And then push the knee away and just stretch a little deeper into the hip. Breathe here. Remember that balance between action and surrender. Two more. Gently release the leg. Bring the foot back to neutral, hand on either side, and we'll step the back foot forward, come into standing forward fold. And again, hands onto the glutes, just slide down 3 times. Clearing that out. Let it go. And then arms out wide, press equally into both feet. Inhale as you lift and rise up, slight back bend. And exhale, arms by your side. And just take a moment to feel maybe some warmth through the legs. Find your breath back to that 5-7 count. All right, we're going to stimulate that abdomen again. And we're going to do a Uriana Crea, but it's a variation of it because Uriana itself is the churning of the abdomen. It's sort of a difficult practice. So this one is nice because it's accessible to more people. And what it is we're going to push one hip back, bring the other forward, and then push one hip back and bring the opposite one forward. And that pushing of the hips back is going to churn the abdominal area just a little bit. So just like when we do our Uriana Crea, we're going to have our feet hip distance apart, knees bent, hands are on the mid-thigh, and the fingertips point in. So the arms are straight like kickstands holding up the spine. You're going to take a full inhale, and then exhale all the breath out of the body. And the more breath that you get out, the easier the suction will be. So once you hold the breath out, then don't breathe in and suck the pelvic floor, navel in and up under the rib cage, creating Uriana Crea. And now stay in Uriana. During the retention, push your right hip back, and then push your left hip back. Push your right hip back, your left. And as soon as you need to breathe, you've got to relax the musculature in the abdomen. Sometimes I like to come up in between and take a breath in standing. Okay, so that's the practice. Let's try it together. Full breath in. Exhale all the breath out, hands to mid-thigh. Let all the breath leave the body. Once it's gone, straighten arms, straighten spine. Suck the pelvic floor and navel deeply in and up into the body, hollowing it out. Now, if you can, push your right hip back, then the left. Keep going, alternating sides. Feeling that little bit of churning separation there in the abdomen. Stimulating that fire, and then as soon as you need to come up and take a breath, you're going to honor that, relax the musculature, and breathe. We'll do one more together because it's a very personal practice. So inhale, exhale all the breath out. Every last little bit of air, the more you get out, the easier the suction is. Now, straighten arms, straighten spine, suck the navel deeply in and up underneath the rib cage. Push your right hip back. And your left. Keep alternating sides. Navel still stays hollowed out. There's no breath here. It's all done on retention, so you have to listen. And as soon as the body says, come up and take a breath, do that. Okay, 3 more. Notice the heat being generated. We're in that time of cleansing, so this is good. We want to fuel the fire. 2 more. Keep the heat in the torso. Don't let it rise up into the head. Chin stays in. Imagine all that prana swirling in the abdomen. 1 more. Take a moment. Go ahead and feel the warmth. It's not an external heat we bring in from the outside. It's something we're generating from within. A deeply purifying internal heat, internal fire. Back at the front of your mat, big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. Chaturanga your way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. In down dog, bring your feet together. Come onto the balls of your feet. Reach the right leg up in the air. Exhale, the left heel down. Inhale the right as high as you can and stack right hip over left. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the heel to the glute. Absorb the tailbone into the body, lift the lower belly. If you want to slide the left forearm down and back slightly, gaze up at the right inner arm, taking it just a little deeper and a little more stable for the shoulder. Breathing here, keep pulling the abdomen in and up. This also protects the lower back. Lower that left heel down towards the earth. 2 more breaths, gaze up at the right inner arm. Navel in and up. Last one. Come off the forearm. Square the hips. Take that right knee into the chest and then lunge that foot forward to the fingertips. Now you're going to line the front heel with the arch of the back foot, and it's a long stance. Heel to arch alignment. Inhale as you come up. Open hip and shoulder to the left for warrior 2. So warrior 2, bend into that front knee. Make sure the knee stays in alignment with the ankle but not beyond it. If it's helpful, lift the toes on that front foot, activating the arch. Press firmly to the outside edge of the back foot. Inhale the arms long here. Exhale, right forearm to the thigh, left arm up and over the head. Lengthen the outer foot away from the fingertips. If this is comfortable and you're not sinking in that bottom shoulder joint, take the hand on the inside of the foot, push the arm into the leg, leg into the arm. Breathe deeply here. In the top arm, that one's always tricky for the shoulder. Turn the pinky finger down slightly and then pull the head of the shoulder down into its socket. Navel hugs the back body on exhalation and rotates to the left. Gaze is traditionally up at the inner arm. If that bothers your neck, look at the horizon line. Keep going into those hips. Be willing to bend that front knee, but watch that tendency to want to sink in the pelvic floor. 1 more breath here. Inhale the left arm all the way up. We're going to straighten the front leg, come into a reverse triangle for just a moment. Looking up the right hand, toes all the way to the fingertips, long line of energy. And now bend the knee 1 more time, go right back into warrior 2. We're going to stay. So arms extend out from the shoulders, gaze either at the tip of the middle finger or just beyond it. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. Now, concentrate on that breath. Belly, ribs, chest. Chest, ribs, belly. Exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Sending the breath down into the pelvic floor and then feeling the pelvic floor engage as you push it back up and out. Relax your shoulders. Send that tension out from the shoulders to the fingertips and to the horizon. One more. And then slowly straighten your front leg, hands to hips, turn your toes in so that we're in a wide foot spreading posture. You might want to heel toe in a little closer. Really, the feet should just be underneath the wrists. You can extend the arms to check. Hands to the hips, lift the heart, open up the front body, create a back bend, and then use that as you exhale, forward fold, to lengthen over the legs. Hands slide down. Grab onto the ankles, bend the elbows out wide. Draw the crown of the head towards the earth. Take the tips of the shoulder blades down your back. And feel the pressure in your feet. Are you sinking in the heels? Come forward a little bit in the balls of the feet. Now this is such a great posture to practice pulling that abdomen deeply in and up. You've got the benefit of gravity to help you. It really teaches that hollowing out of the belly. One more full breath here. Continuing to hold the ankles, extend the sternum away, create that length, and then walk back towards the front of your mat, pivoting on the foot. Come into that high lunge for just a moment, and then step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise, arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment. You can either keep the hands at the heart or by your side. Stabilize your legs. Breathe here. Other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey. Flat spine. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position, chaturanga your way. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. Good, so same thing, feet together, balls of your feet. Inhale the left leg up in the air. Exhale the right heel down. Inhale the left as high as you can, stack left hip over right. Bend the knee, draw the heel to the glute. You can, if you'd like, slide that right forearm back slightly and down to the floor, gaze up at the left inner arm. Breathe here. If you're keeping the hands straight, you just keep your gaze straight. But you want to continue to rotate the navel to the left, opening up those hips. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts, stabilizing the pelvic floor. Inhale, send the breath in and down. Exhale, up and out. Last breath. Now straighten that left leg, square the hips, bring the knee into the chest, and lunge that foot forward to the fingertips. And again, it's this nice long stance. So heel to arch alignment, come up through warrior one, open hip and shoulder to the right, warrior two. Pushing the ball of the front foot, lift the toes, activate the outside edge of the back foot. We're going to do dynamic side angle. Inhale here. Exhale, left forearm down, right arm up and over the head. Stay here. Press the outside of the foot away from the fingertips. Make sure you're not sinking in that bottom shoulder joint, but create space there. Chest moves away from the thigh. If that's super comfortable, then go ahead and take the left hand down to the floor. Push the arm into the leg, leg into the arm. That top arm's always tricky. Turn the pinky finger down. Draw the head of the shoulder into its socket. Rotate the navel deeper to the right and lean back with your chest. Sink a little deeper into the hips. Breathe. At the same time the hips are opening, the pelvic floor is lifting. Action and surrender, both are happening at the same time. Remember that gaze is up at the inner arm, but neutral if it bothers your neck. Last one. Good. Now inhale, reach the right arm up in the air, straighten the front leg, turn and look at your left palm. It's a reverse triangle, opening up that lateral line. And then we're going to come right back into warrior two. Bend into the front knee. Soften into that hip. At the same time, lift your pelvic floor. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. Extend through the fingers, relax your shoulders. Stretch through the neck, growing taller. Breathing here. Gaze is steady. Two more. Good. Straighten that front leg, turn the toes in. If you got wide, heel toe your feet in just a little bit. Hands on the hips. Lift the heart. Open up through that front line. Create that slight back bend for the body. And now exhale and fold over the legs. Slide your hands down. This time, hook your index middle thumb around your big toe. If that's not possible, fingertips just line up with the toes in between the legs. If you're holding the toes, elbows bend out wide, draw the crown of the head to the earth, tips of the shoulder blades down your back. If your fingers are on the floor, squeeze the inner elbows toward one another, widening the upper back. Now, hollow out that belly on exhalation. You'll notice the more you engage that inner body lift, the more the body just kind of falls into position. So it's through that inner engagement that we find a deeper surrender. I think the body feels comfortable when it knows it's supported by the abdomen, and then it allows the extremities to release. One more here. Now, fingers in a finger stand, come forward. Turn the toes out, heels in, and we're going to come into a wide sumo stance. So elbows on the insides of the knees, press the knees apart. Allow the pelvis to spread. Keep pressing the forearms toward the knees. Breathe here. And then straighten the legs, turn the toes in. Hands to hips, scoop the heart, come all the way up to standing. Heel toe in the rest of the way. Come back to the front of your mat. Big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, flat back. And exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position, last vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to down dog. We're going to lunge the right knee all the way towards that right wrist. Top of the foot down, setting up for pigeon pose. Now, if this right hip's way up in the air, then you're going to want to put a blanket underneath it. Tuck your back toes under, reach out back through your heels so you let the hips fall into place. Hands beside the hips, tops of the foot ground. Open up the heart. Starts with a back bend. That's the traditional pigeon pose anyway. And then we'll come forward, and you can either stay on the forearms. If you would like to put a block underneath your forehead, you can rest there. Or whole upper body comes down into the mat. Now you want to press into the top of your back foot and that left thigh just as much as the right hips is stretching. You want to feel balanced in the center. Find that grounding action in combination with surrender. And let that balance find space, navel in and up. Five, 7 breathing, longer exhales. Last one. Hands under the shoulders. Let the weight go onto your right hip. Swing your left leg around, stack your knees. So left knee goes directly over the right. And make sure you have padding there so that when you can come forward, we're going to bring the hands in front. Wiggle those knees and legs a little closer together. You might want to just stay here depending on the flexibility of the outside of your hips. Otherwise, if you can, stand on the knees, bring your hands to your hips, and absorb your tailbone in and lift your lower belly. So either position, staying on the floor or coming up onto the knees, is fine. This IT band, this outer leg line, is often tight on most of us. So it's tucking that tailbone in, lifting the lower belly is going to help. Breathe here. That's it. One more. Good. Gently lower the hips back down. Hands come down. Step your right leg back, then your left. You'll be back in downward facing dog. All right, extend the left leg up and swing it through. So knee comes to left wrist. Whatever angle your leg and shin go to, that's perfectly fine. Tuck your back toes under. Press the heel back. Allow the hips to soften into place. Fingers in a finger stand. Inhale. Open the heart. Get the back bend first. Exhale, walk it out. Starting on the forearms. Again, you can use that block under your head. We want to make sure the right leg is anchoring just as much as the left hip is stretching. If you're really comfortable here, whole upper body can soften into the mat. Now, you're still doing 5-7 breathing, and you're still lifting the pelvic floor and navel on exhalation. Last breath here. Again, the hands are going to go underneath the shoulders, come back up. Let weight go onto your left hip this time. Swing your right leg around, stack your knees. So right knee over left. And you can just stay here. Sometimes this is enough for that outer leg line. Otherwise, maybe come onto the hands. Make sure there's padding under the knees. Press down into the earth and stand on those knees. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. And we can do a lot of foam rolling, things like that, to try to get into this outer hip line, but we just don't access it that often. So posture like this might feel a little uncomfortable. Make sure you're honoring your body and just breathe. Good, one more here. And then gently come down, fingertips to the floor. We're just going to allow the sit bones to come down, and we're going to open the legs out wide. Upavishta Konasana, seated wide angle. So flex your feet. Push your pelvic floor forward. So lean forward slightly so there's an anterior tilt of the pelvic floor. And then fingers in a finger stand, let the heart lift. Keep flexing the feet, grow tall through the spine, and close the eyes. Find the 5-7 breathing again. Chest, ribs, belly, belly, ribs, chest. And then just start to walk your fingers forward until you find the first area of sensation. Wherever that is, just stop and breathe. Send some of the heat that you generated in your practice into that area to melt it, soften it. Remember to let the belly be soft on inhalation, so you get a full breath in and down. But on exhalation, there's that pelvic floor and core lift, and you might find that engagement actually gives the body permission to release a little more. So keep walking out till you get to your comfort level. And then breathe. And if the body softens, you can go a little further. And if it just has a lot of sensation and you're just trying to maintain that deep breath, then just stay there. Stay there till that breath is comfortable. And then gently walk your hands back. Take your time. One hand under one knee, the other hand under the other. Guide them back to center. Bring the knees closed. And wrap your arms around your legs and give your forehead to your knees and just surrender. Gently come back up with the head. I'm going to do another posture here, which we sometimes call frog pose. If you have a blanket, and you can place that down, or something, even a shirt that can slide on the floor, that would be really helpful. You're going to place one knee on the blanket, one knee on the mat. Flex your feet like frog feet, so the toes point straight out to the side. And then as your body softens, and you allow your forearms to come to the floor, the knee that's on the blanket can slide out to the side. And the tendency we have here is to drop the weight into the lower belly. So you want to pull the pelvic floor, navel in and up. Really what we've been practicing throughout the whole class today. And then make sure that that feels supportive in the spine. And just like those other postures, once the spine feels supported, then the extremities begin to let go. Keep allowing that blanket to spread as you surrender. And then if you want to do some little pelvic floor work here, you can. You're not going to see this on the outside, but you'll feel it. You can internally lift the tailbone. So the tailbone goes up, and then feel the tailbone then draw back down. So it's very subtle. Inhale, you're lifting the tailbone up, mostly feeling that internally. Exhale, that pelvic floor, navel pulls in and up as you draw the tailbone down. And keep going, inhaling, exhaling if you'd like. Otherwise, just stay in the posture if it's enough sensation. Two more. Now come back to neutral. You're going to army crawl your forearms forward and then bring the soles of your feet together behind you once the belly comes down. Rest your chin on your hands and then see if you can get those toes to reach down towards the floor. And they may touch, they may not touch. But we're opening up those hips in a slightly different way. Breathe into this. Feel the abdomen pressing into the earth as you breathe. Good, and then hands under the shoulders. As you come up, you can slide the knee in a little bit. Toes are touching behind you, knees are wide, come into a wide child's pose. And then hands under the shoulders. Roll back to sitting on your heels. And then we'll take the knee in the rest of the way. And once again, find that Virasana. We just did a lot of external rotation. We'll go back into that Virasana internal rotation. So remember, that means heels to the outsides of the hips. If you need a blanket or a block underneath your hips, or maybe you can get the hips all the way to the floor, that's great. And remember, it's helpful to kind of split the two heads of the calf in half with your thumb before sitting down. And then tall spine, rest your hands in your lap. And this is really that counter pose to a lot of the work that we did today, which was more external rotating. Navel, pelvic floor pulls in and up on exhalation. Two more breaths. And then gently come out, and we'll release the feet, release the prop, and come onto your back. So knees into the chest. Apanasana, just feel for a moment the spine fully supported by the earth. Tailbone lengthens away from the crown of the head. And then cross your right leg over your left, and then take the knees to the left as you look to your right. And then left hand on top of that knee if you'd like. Navel pulls in and up. Rotate to the right deeply. You can gaze over the right hand or shoulder. Enjoying this twist after all that work, the unwinding here. Last breath. And then gently come back to center, and we'll switch. We'll cross the left leg over the right and take knees now to the right as you look to your left. If you want, you can hold on to the outside of the knee with the right hand. Navel now rotates to the left. Breathe here. Even though you're relaxing, you're still pulling that pelvic floor and navel in and up on exhalation. May not be as intense, but it is still creating a little more room each time. And then gently come back to center, knees to chest again. And Supta Dandasana, extending the legs straight with the feet flexed. You can either wrap your hands around the calves if you'd like, or hook the index middle thumb around the big toe. Certainly if you had a strap, you could use a strap. But we're going to push up through the pad of the big toe and pull the pinky toe side of the foot down. And no matter what bind you have on your legs or your feet, keep the tailbone reaching away from the crown of the head. So you want to think of the spine getting as long as possible across the floor. Slight internal rotation of your thighs here. This will also help push that pad of the big toe forward. Legs are firm. Chin is in slightly. Back of that neck is long. And now keep holding the right foot as you bring the left leg down. Left hand onto the hip. Feel that stretch. Now send that left hand towards the toes as you lift up so that you're creating a little crunch in the abdomen. Shoulder blades are coming off the floor. Keep reaching the left hand towards the toes. Navel in and back. Breathe here. And then slowly come down. Release the bind on the right leg. Send that leg long so you can feel all that extra length in it. Releasing it to the floor, enjoying that for a moment. And then both legs back up. Hook the index middle thumb around the big toe or hold the calf. Left hand is going to stay on the bind. Send the right leg down. Right hand on the hip to start. Breathe here. And now again, fingertips are going to reach towards those toes, contracting the abdomen, taking the shoulder blades off the floor. Breathe here. Navel hugs the back body. And gently release. Release the bind on the leg. Extend the the toes all the way to the floor. Feel all that space and length. And now prepare for Shavasana. Bring both knees into the chest one more time, just to make sure you end symmetrically. And then extend the legs long. You want to take them a little wider than hip distance apart, arms down by the side, palms face up. If you're in a cool room, you can put your socks and sweaters back on, maybe a blanket over you. If you're in a lighted room, place a soft piece of cloth or eye pillow over the eyes so that the mind can turn inward. Again, with those shoulder blades tucked underneath you, palms face up, then settle the spine into the earth. And now once again, release the breathing. Just let it be effortless. It'll find the perfect rhythm for this time and space. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And find yourself coming back. And gently run the thumb across the fingertips. Wiggle the toes. And rolling your wrists and your ankles. Slowly bring your knees back into your chest. And curl to your right side into fetal. Arm under the head as a pillow. Rest here. As you find your deep breath, bring your hand into the earth and slowly come back up into seated, head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. If you want to prop your sit bones up for a moment, you can return to half lotus that we started at the beginning of the practice, or Sukhasana, of course, always. And just sit with a tall spine, a relaxed body. And take a moment just to feel. Feel the work that we've done, the space in the base of the body, the hips that we created. And all the warmth generated. And then just for a moment, watch the rise and fall of the breath from the tip of the nose to the bridge, and then from the bridge to the tip. So inhale, cooler air comes in from tip of the nose to the bridge. And exhale, warm air moves out from the bridge of the nose to the tip. Keep going. If you're a visual person, see that as a stream of white light coming in equally through both nostrils, joining at that bridge, the tip, which meets right around the third eye, and then exhaling from that point back out both nostrils. Cool air coming in, warm air going out. Now you may begin to notice that more of your attention is drawn to that area of the bridge of the nose, or what we call that external third eye. And as your attention's drawn there, you can begin to hold it and release the technique or the focus on the nostrils and maintain your awareness at the third eye. As you hold your attention in that prana and light, see it take on the shape of a sphere or circle. The more you relax, the larger it gets. Maybe now encompassing the whole head. Keep relaxing, keep gazing at the third eye. And that circle or sphere may be bigger now, encompassing the heart. Keep relaxing, letting the mind be absorbed in that light. And then the whole body surrounded in an egg-shaped sphere of light. Here you sit at the center, absorbing prana, life-giving energy. The more you surrender while holding the action of observation, the brighter that light will be. So the yogi is one who calmly observes, in recognition that we don't have the full picture. In fact, we have a very small portion of the picture. The yogi observes and masters the art of being that non-judgmental witness. And bring your hands together in front of the heart. Bow your head to your hands. Go back to the intention we said about working with those hips and using that balance of action and surrender. And just trust that you received what you could receive from those practices today. Letting the rest go. We'll seal today with the Loka chant. If you're familiar, you can chant with me. This is a chant for peace and happiness on the planet. So deep inhale in. Long exhale out. We'll begin with one Om. Another deep inhale in. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings everywhere be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings be happy and free. Namaste.